Well, good afternoon, everyone. Today's our briefing for August 20th, 2020. And we're going to be doing a couple updates today. So I'm going to start us off by sharing some thoughts and really a plan that we are putting together to ensure a safe, secure voting process for the November election. Also, our city clerk, Monique de la Garza, is also going to talk about the election. She partners with the LA County registrar who actually operates the elections here. So it's a county-wide system that the city partners with. They'll be monitoring and operating the election, but our team, through the clerk's office, of course, works with them to plan it out. Then after our clerk makes some remarks, then we're going to hear from Kelly Colopy, who is the director of the health department, who will be doing our COVID update today as well. But the reason we're talking about voting is that this year, our voting process absolutely is impacted because of COVID-19. And so I want to just start off by just acknowledging that our team here at the city is ensuring we want to do everything we can to continue the direction that we're in now. We know that our positivity rate is continuing to drop. Kelly Colopy is going to talk about that today. It's headed in the right direction. Our hospitalization rate is headed in the right direction. Those are all positive developments. And as we go into this fall and as we go into October and then the election, there's going to be a lot of interest, of course, for voting, regardless of who people are voting for. And we want to make sure the process is as safe as possible. So I want to just start by reminding folks that in Long Beach and across the state of California, every single voter will be receiving a vote by mail ballot. I just want to repeat that. Every single voter in the city of Long Beach will be mailed a vote by mail ballot. Not only will you receive a vote by mail ballot, it will have a stamp that will be already on the one of the official no stamp is needed sign. So it's not a stamp, but it's the you don't need one basically because of the way it's the envelope is set up. And so you'll be able to take your ballot and put it in the mail right away when you receive your ballot or whenever you want to vote, and it'll be done in a way that's safe and secure. And so again, while there certainly is going to be opportunity for you to vote in person, if that is your choice, we know the absolute safest way to vote is in the comfort of your own home. And so we want to share a little bit about that today. We know that this election, there has been a change statewide, and we know that all registered voters are going to be receiving a vote by mail ballot. All ballots will start hitting mailboxes October 5th, right after October 5. Now, in Long Beach, we've been voting by mail for years, and we know that. So that we have a huge percentage of the population that votes by mail. So this is not new to us. It's basically the way it's always been for every election if you're a vote by mail voter. But we want to remind people that voting by mail is safe and secure. So I'll say that one more time. Voting by mail is safe and secure. Your ballot will arrive. It's taken care of by the post office, and the election will run as it always is. Regardless of some of the national rhetoric that we're hearing about vote by mail, that is just simply untrue. Voting by mail is safe, it's secure, and we want you to exercise your ability to vote this fall. Personally, it's also the best way to vote because you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And in this COVID year, it limits your contacts with others within this COVID-19 environment. So ballots, if you are a voter in the city of Long Beach, and if you're not, we encourage folks to register to vote, of course. But if you are not, please, when you receive your ballot in early October, you'll be able to put that ballot in the mail any day, including Election Day. So as long as your ballot is postmarked by the post office by Election Day, that ballot will be counted because in California, we take our time to actually count ballots. So the election won't be certified for a couple of weeks after the election. And so all ballots get counted, even if they're on their way. But of course, we know a lot of folks will vote early, and most do. Most vote, obviously, once they receive their ballot or in the weeks prior to the election. And we encourage you to do so. Again, voting by mail is safe. We also know that some folks like to drop their ballot off at a voting place, and we've seen that more and more. This year, we have a new initiative we are announcing, which we are excited about. We have created 16 vote-by-mail drop-off boxes for the general election in November. These 16 vote-by-mail drop-off locations will be spread all across the city of Long Beach, and they're in partnership with us and the county voter registrar's office. These voting boxes are safe, secure, are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will be distributed all across the city. They are large boxes, and you'll be able to find them in different places. They include the Bixby Park Community Center, Bret Harte Library, Burnell Library, Dana Neighborhood Library, El Dorado Park West Community Center, Freeman Community Center, Hartwell Park Community Center, Houghton Park Community Center, here at Long Beach City Hall, the Long Beach Senior Center, Marina Vista Park, Mark Twain Library, Michelle Obama Neighborhood Library, Ramona Park, Schwer Park, and Veterans Park. So all of these locations will have these secure, they're large structure boxes that are drop-off locations where you can drop your ballot off any day between when they drop and sometime after October 5th to Election Day. And then once the polls close on Election Day, the registrar's office will come by, of course, and secure all of those ballots. Those mailboxes will close at 8 p.m. on Election Day. So again, you will receive your ballot in the mail, and we want you to then take that ballot and just put it in your mail. You don't need a stamp. If you'd prefer to drop it off at one of these secure locations, you can do so as well. Beyond those safe vote-by-mail options, you will still have a vote-in-person option. We are working with the registrar's office to ensure that there is secure voting centers. Long Beach will have likely at least 3 voting centers across the city. These are not operated by the city of Long Beach. They're operated by the elections team at the county. And those voting centers will be across the city and open 11 days, starting 11 days prior to the election. And so if you want to go vote in person in a secure way, you will be able to do so. There'll be more information about that process as the election becomes closer. But again, it's just as safe to put your ballot in the mail. And we're working on another option, which is we're trying to create a drop-off ballot process for if you want to drop it off in your car. And so what we're going to do is the weekend before the election, we're working with Cal State Long Beach, and it's likely going to be there on campus. There'll be a drive-through voting location where you can stay in your car with your ballot, and you'll be able to drop your ballot off in a secure way that weekend before the election. And so we want to create as many safe ways for people to vote because we want everyone to vote because of COVID. So all of these additional measures are put in place because of COVID-19, and we want to ensure the safety of all the votes. So please get involved, and I want to turn this over now to our city clerk, Monique De La Garza, who's going to give a little bit more information, and then she's going to introduce Kelly Colopy, our health director, who will, of course, give our COVID update today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. Today, I want to share a few things about voting in Long Beach for the November 3rd election. All voters should check their voter registration status to ensure its accuracy and that it is up to date. You can check your voter registration status at lavote.net, or you can visit longbeach.gov/cityclerk, and we will have a link to lavote.net for all the voters. There are multiple options on how to return a vote-by-mail ballot this year. You can return your ballot by mail, no postage necessary, or you can drop it in one of the over 300 vote-by-mail drop boxes in LA County. The other option is a vote center in LA County, any of the vote centers that are open during the full election process. Early in-voting options will still be available or early in-person voting options will still be available for those who prefer to vote early. There's still time to register to vote before the November 3rd election. The last day to register is October 19th. You can register to vote at registertovote.ca.gov, or you can visit lavote.net. Vote centers will be available in Long Beach for the presidential November election starting Saturday, October 24th through Tuesday, November 3rd. A vote center is the physical location where voters go to vote during the voting period. It's equipped with electronic poll books, fully accessible ballot marking devices, and voting material to assist voters. We expect to have at least 3 vote centers in Long Beach. All the centers will operate in compliance with the city's Safer at Home health orders to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Physical distancing and face coverings are required for voters and accompanying children over the age of 2 years. Cleaning and disinfecting practices will be conducted at each center. More details will be available on our webpage at longbeach.gov/cityclerk in the coming months. Thank you. I'd like to turn it over to Kelly Colby, the Health Director.
Good afternoon, everybody. So today's briefing on your numbers. As of today, we have 9,930 residents who have tested positive for COVID-19. Our positivity rate as of yesterday was 7.5%, which is lower than last Wednesday and lower than it's been since early July. We currently have 8,763 people who are self-reported that they have recovered. Sadly, we have lost 200 Long Beach residents to COVID-19. The 200 mark seems like a real benchmark for us, and we hope to keep it as low as possible moving forward. 67 of these residents are outside of our long-term care facilities. 6 of our residents have been under the age of 50, and another 32 between the ages of 50 and 65. Our case numbers continue to stabilize, and I want to thank all of you for doing your part to help us to this point. We need to continue to stay strong and focused and not let our guard down just because the numbers don't feel as alarming as they were throughout July and into early August. We want to continue this positive progress, and we want to make sure that we continue all of your safety practices, so thank you. To increase our access to testing, this week we did have one more site. So we added a drive-up testing site available to dock workers, truckers, and frontline labor partners. The tests, like all other city-run test sites, are free to both port personnel and to the public. They're available weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 2100 West Anaheim Street. COVID testing is also available every day of the week throughout Long Beach. Appointments are available Monday through Friday at Vet Stadium from 10 to 1 and 3 to 5. And during the weekdays, Monday through Friday, you can also go to the Long Beach City College Pacific Coast campus from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On the weekends, or Saturdays and Sundays, you can be tested at Cabrillo High School from 10 to 1 and 3 to 5. Remember, appointments are required, and same-day appointments are generally available right now. You can make them through our website at www.longbeach.gov/COVID-19 or by calling your info line at 562-570-INFO, 562-570-4636. Residents of Long Beach, Signal Hill, Lakewood, Compton, and Paramount are also welcome. If you feel like you have COVID symptoms and you don't have an appointment, you can go to the Rapid Assessment Clinic located at the LBCC Pacific Coast campus. It is open from Monday through Friday from 10 to 1. They can assess your symptoms at that time and determine if you need a test. Our website also has information on other testing options available locally, such as testing at our North Long Beach site of the Jordan Plus campus. This is available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and offers testing for those with symptoms and essential workers without symptoms. This is a walk-in clinic. Additionally, we have listed some resources for other private testing opportunities on our COVID website. Again, longbeach.gov/COVID-19. You can always also call your healthcare provider if you have one for additional information on whether you should be tested. I want to share a little bit with you about our cooling centers. So we've had incredible heat over the last week, and given that the high temperatures are expected to continue, we're happy to share that we've extended the activation of our air-conditioned cooling centers across the city through Sunday, August 23rd. The cooling centers are located in our park community centers at Admiral Kidd Park, El Dorado, Park West, Houghton Park, Long Beach Senior Center, and McBride Park. These sites are open from noon to 6 p.m. All these centers are operating in compliance with the city's Safer at Home order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Health screenings, temperature checks, physical distancing, and face coverings are required for visitors. Please share this information with anyone who may need a cool place to be for a couple of hours. Just a few reminders during these hot days for everybody. Drink plenty of water to stay hydrated. Wear loose-fitting clothing, light clothing if possible. If you need to be outside, try and wear a wide brim hat and apply sunscreen. SPF is preferable. 15 minutes before going outdoors and reapply every 2 hours. Please try and plan strenuous outdoor activities for when it's cooler and limit time outside during the peak heat. If you can, check on older adults or homebound individuals to make sure they are not affected by the heat. And don't forget to take care of your pets if you have one. Make sure they have plenty of shade and water to drink, and walk your dogs when the temperature is cooler. With that, I think we're open for questions.
Thank you, Kelly. We will now have a few questions from the media. First question is from Valerie at the Long Beach Post. Go ahead, Valerie.
Hey there. So now that we seem to be inching closer to meeting the state indicators, can you tell us what kind of reopening plans the city is working on to avoid another spike, like after the first reopening?
So at this time, we still are quite a ways from reopening. I think our first focus is to really start to ensure that our youth and children have opportunities for education. So we want to be focusing and doing our very best to be able to create those learning opportunities for our youth. And then from there there are different risk levels of different businesses and sectors that could open. So we'll be focusing on those that have the least risk and then really sort of moving through that way. At this time, to be off the monitoring list, you have to have a case rate of under 100 per 100,000. At this time, we're still over 200, so we have quite a bit of time left before we get to the point where we would be off the state's monitoring list.
Thank you. Next question comes from Haley at the Press Telegram. Go ahead, Haley.
Hi, my question is about the death toll from COVID-19 since we hit the 200 mark today, and there were also 4 deaths reported yesterday and 5 on Tuesday. Can you just talk a little bit about that trend and whether deaths may be increasing or if this has just kind of been a fluke over the past couple of days?
We had a few deaths of folks who were older adults who were in skilled nursing facilities. So we continue to work with those skilled nursing facilities to really make sure that they are getting the support that they need. And then we had a couple of deaths of people who were younger and people in our community. And so I think what it tells us is that we just need to continue to be really vigilant about the work that we're doing, and that we need to be particularly vigilant to ensure that we are being safe for ourselves, our families, and people who are around us. The more that we can do that, then we'll be able to really ensure that death toll does not go up any further.
Thank you, Kelly. Next question comes from Stephanie at the Long Beach Post. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Hi, this question is for the city clerk. I understand that there's been a lot of community members who had been wanting to see when the council meetings are going to be moving to a video format, like how OBUSD and OBCC does that as well. Is there any plans for the city council meetings to be on video as well?
Thank you for the question. At this point, we don't have a definite date that the city council meetings will be going to video. So we're still working on it. We're trying to find the appropriate technology that will allow us to have the best sound quality as well as the best video quality before we take that next step.
Thank you, Monique. That will end questions now, and we will move on to Spanish interpretation.
Muy buenas tardes, bienvenidos a nuestro comunicado de prensa para hoy jueves 20 de agosto del 2020. Hoy nos acompañó el alcalde Roberto García, City Clerk o secretaria de la ciudad Monique de la Garza y la directora de salud Kelly Calopi. Empecemos con información general. A la fecha, 9,930 residentes han dado positivo por COVID-19. Nuestra tasa de positividad ayer fue de 7.5%, que es más bajo de lo que estaba el miércoles pasado, cuando fue 8.6%. Esto es lo más bajo que hemos estado desde el principio de julio. Además, aproximadamente 8,763 personas se han recuperado y desafortunadamente hemos perdido un total de 200 residentes de la ciudad de Long Beach. 67 de esos residentes no estaban en instalaciones de atención a largo plazo y 6 de esas muertes han sido menores de 50 años y otros 32 tenían entre 50 y 65 años. Nuestros números de casos continúan estableciéndose y querían agradecer a todos por haber hecho su parte en ayudarnos a llegar a este punto. Necesitamos seguir siendo fuertes y concentrados y no bajar la guardia solo porque nuestros números no se sienten tan alarmantes como lo fueron durante todo el mes de julio hasta principios de agosto. Queremos continuar con este progreso positivo. Pruebas para COVID-19. Se les recuerda que hay muchas formas que se pueden hacer la prueba aquí en la ciudad de Long Beach. Hasta la fecha hemos realizado casi 172,000 pruebas de COVID-19 aquí en la ciudad de Long Beach. Seguimos trabajando para asegurarnos que existe la capacidad necesaria para que todos los que quieran hacerse un examen en la ciudad lo puedan hacer. Sabemos que las pruebas son fundamentales para prevenir la propagación del virus. Esta semana agregamos pruebas para COVID-19 en el vehículo para trabajadores portuarios, camioneros y otros socios laborales de primera línea que trabajan aquí en el puerto. Las pruebas, como en todos los sitios de pruebas administradas por la ciudad, son gratuitas tanto para el personal del puerto como para el público. El nuevo local está disponible de lunes a viernes de 10 de la mañana a 1 de la tarde. La dirección es 2100 West Anaheim Street. Las pruebas de COVID están disponibles todos los días de la semana aquí en la ciudad de Long Beach y hay citas disponibles. Voy a hablar sobre las diferentes localidades donde se puede hacer la prueba. De lunes a viernes estamos en el Estadio Veteranos por la Clark de 10 de la mañana a 1 de la tarde y de 3 de la tarde a 5 de la tarde. También de lunes a viernes puede ir al campus del Colegio de Long Beach, localizado por la Pacific Coast Highway y Orange, de 10 de la mañana a 1 de la tarde. Para aquellos ustedes que quieran tomarse el examen el fin de semana, está disponible los sábados y domingos hacérselo en Cabrillo High School de 10 a 1 y de 3 a 5 de la tarde. Eso es por la Santa Fe. Se les recuerda que sí se requieren citas, pero las citas del mismo día generalmente están disponibles. Puede hacerlo a través de nuestro sitio web en longbeach.gov/WICA COVID-19 o llamando a nuestra línea de información al área 562-570-4636. Como siempre, residentes de Long Beach, Signal Hill, Lakewood, Compton y Paramount son bienvenidos. Para personas que tienen síntomas de COVID-19 y no tienen una cita, pueden hacerse la prueba en el Centro de Evaluación Rápida, localizado también en el Colegio de Long Beach por la PCH y Orange, de lunes a viernes de 10 de la mañana a 1 de la tarde. Otra vez, eso es para personas que quizás despertaron con síntomas y se quieren hacer la prueba el mismo día y no tienen cita. Nuestro sitio de web también tiene información sobre otras opciones de prueba disponibles localmente, como las pruebas en el norte de Long Beach, en el campus de Jordan Plus, que está disponible de lunes a viernes de 7 de la mañana a 7 de la tarde. Ahí se ofrece pruebas para aquellos con síntomas y trabajadores esenciales sin síntomas. Además, hemos puesto algunos recursos de opciones de pruebas privadas en nuestra página de web, localizado en longbeach.gov/ubicua COVID-19. Y siempre puede llamar a su proveedor de atención médica para ver sus opciones de prueba con ellos. Vamos a hablar sobre el registro de votantes. Nos acompañó Monique de la Garza, el City Clerk o secretaria de la ciudad, para compartir algunas cosas sobre la votación. Todos los votantes deben de verificar su registro de votante para asegurar de que todo esté actualizado. Puede verificar el estado del registro en línea en lavote.net. Eso es LAVCHICAOTE.net. Hay varias opciones sobre cómo devolver un voto por correo y no se requiere estampilla. Lo puede hacer entregándolo al correo, por buzón en persona. Hay más de 300 localidades por todo el condado de Los Ángeles o en cualquier centro de votación en el condado de Los Ángeles. Las opciones de votación anticipada en persona estarán disponibles para aquellos que necesitan o prefieran esta opción. Los residentes de Long Beach pueden verificar su estado de registro de votante en nuestro sitio de web de la ciudad en longbeach.gov/ubicua City Clerk. Eso lo llevará a el sitio lavote.net, donde le acabo de dar la información, y todavía hay tiempo para registrarse para votar. Visite registertovote.ca.gov para registrarse en línea. Esa información también va a estar disponible en la página de la ciudad. La elección presidencial, Long Beach tendrá un total de 16 buzones de votación por correo para las elecciones generales presidenciales este noviembre. A partir de esta elección, todos los votantes registrados recibirán por correo una boleta de voto por correo para garantizar que tengan una opción de votación segura y accesible durante la pandemia de COVID-19. A partir del 5 de octubre, los buzones de la ciudad estarán disponibles las 24 horas del día, los 7 días de la semana. Y el día de elecciones, todos los buzones estarán disponibles hasta las 8 de la noche. Las boletas completas también se pueden devolver por correo. Les recuerdo que no se requiere estampilla o en persona en cualquier centro de votación. Depende si usted prefiere votar en persona, votar por correo o entregar su boleto a un buzón el mismo día. Lo importante es que usted vote porque su voto cuenta. Centros de votación, un poquito más de detalles sobre los centros de votación que estarán disponibles en Long Beach para las elecciones generales presidenciales el martes 3 de noviembre. Un centro de votación es el lugar físico donde los votantes van a votar durante el periodo de votación. Está equipado con libros de votación electrónicos y dispositivos de marcado de boletos y materiales de votación totalmente accesibles para ayudar a los votantes. Esperamos tener 3 centros de votación en Long Beach y todos los centros operarán de conformidad con los órdenes de salud más seguro en casa de la ciudad para prevenir la propagación de COVID-19. Se requiere distanciamiento físico y cubrirse la cara para los votantes y también menores que vayan a acompañar a sus padres si son mayor de 2 años de edad. Se realizarán prácticas de limpieza y desinfección en cada centro. Más detalles están disponibles en nuestra página longbeach.gov/ubicua City Clerk, deletreado CITYCLERK. Centros de enfriamiento seguirán abiertos, dado que se espera que continúen las altas temperaturas. Nos complace compartir que hemos extendido la activación de nuestros centros de enfriamiento con aire acondicionado en toda la ciudad hasta este domingo 23 de agosto. Los centros de enfriamiento están ubicados en los centros comunitarios del parque en los siguientes parques: Parque Admiral Kidd, El Dorado Park West, Houghton, McBride y también en el Long Beach Senior Center, el centro para personas mayores de Long Beach. Estos sitios estarán abiertos de 12 del mediodía a 6 de la tarde. Todos los centros están operando de acuerdo también con las órdenes de salud más seguro en casa para prevenir la propagación de COVID-19. Se requiere exámenes de salud, controles de temperatura, distanciamiento físico y cubrimientos faciales para todos los visitantes. Por favor, comparta esta información con cualquier persona que necesite un lugar fresco durante unas horas. Y solo algunos recordatorios para todos ustedes durante estos días calurosos. Tome mucha agua para mantenerse hidratado. Use ropa ligera y suelta si es posible. Si necesita estar al aire libre, intente usar un sombrero de ala ancha y aplique protector solar de al menos 15 SPF. 15 minutos antes de salir al aire libre y vuelva a aplicar ese protector solar cada 2 horas. Intente planificar actividades al aire libre durante las partes más frescas del día. Y también verifique si los adultos mayores o las personas confinadas en el hogar para asegurarse de que no se vean ellos afectados por el calor. Y no olvide cuidar de sus mascotas. Asegúrese de que tengan mucha agua y pasea a sus perros durante el día que esté más fresco. Eso es todo por hoy. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. That is all for today. We thank you for joining us.